Madam Speaker, in March, both Minnesota and North Dakota, as the gentleman just said, began experiencing severe storms and flooding. And as a result, major disaster declarations were issued for a number of counties in those states pursuant to the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act to provide federal assistance. But the numbers are staggering. 47 of 53 counties in North Dakota and 28 of 87 counties in Minnesota have been declared federal disaster areas, and it just tells you the scope of this and the size of these floods. Now, as a member representing a state that has seen, unfortunately, its fair share of storms, I can tell you that there are so many people that really allow the people of these states to move forward and to frankly survive this and hopefully prosper from it. There are so many people, not only from North Dakota and Minnesota, but from around the nation who assisted in fighting these floods, and hundreds of volunteers chipped in to help one another, to fill sandbags and to do whatever it takes to make sure that they can help their fellow citizens. Demolition crews freed up ice jams and ice dams to get water moving up the Missouri River to minimize flooding, to try to minimize flooding after obviously so much had already taken place. And reportedly there were so many volunteers who offered to help that some of them actually had to be turned away, and that says a lot about the greatness of the American people. So this resolution commends the people of North Dakota and Minnesota for their actions, for their heroic actions, as the gentleman just said, along with those volunteers from around the country who also came to assist. It also expresses appreciation to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and other federal agencies for their work with the state and local officials. Again, I want to thank the gentleman for this resolution. People are hurting, they're struggling, but the American people have a way to come together to help each other. This is just one more example, and I urge the approval and the passage of this resolution. And I recall that after Hurricane Andrew, I ran into a number of obviously volunteers, and something that really struck me was that I ran into two people who were there on vacation, and they were actually helping in a daycare center for children that had lost their homes. And because the gentleman just talked about that we all need to see that and how we all here come together as well. But because of that experience, I did go to Missouri in the 90s after some floods. I had some days off. I was in the state legislature in those days, and I volunteered and I went down there. I spent a few days sandbagging, and you really see the best of the country when people are really hurting and people are really struggling. And again, we've received the kindness of the American people in Florida multiple times. You also see how heroic the American people are, and you're seeing it now in these storms. I want to again thank the gentleman for bringing up this resolution. It's timely. It's so important to make sure that we recognize that tough times are to be had, but the American people does step up. And in both those states, they're going to do better than they ever were. They're going to be stronger, and the people are going to survive and prosper. Again, I want to thank you all for bringing this up. And with that, Madam Speaker, I would like to then just yield back the remaining part of my time.